So we are working with firefighters cohorts and in the EXPOSIM project. So the idea is to target these hotspots or high exposure workers and try to understand if their exposures can contribute for the autoimmune diseases. We have started our work in Portugal, working with this cohort on firefighters. But my colleague Rani is already doing a lot of work. I think she has already finalized the first baseline campaign. So maybe you could talk about your results and about the field work, but also your first results.
How we started the collaboration. So we have a collaboration in Belgium with a fire brigade zone, and it is also more located in the industry because we are setting the first steps in the research in Belgium about firefighters, and we want to start with more standardized fires, and that's why we cannot do it in a fire brigade zone that is more located in the city, for example. So we really have to go to more the industry where we really set a container on fire. So what I learned about the collaboration that we have is that if you have a good connection with the head of the fire brigade zone, that you can really work together and that you can really create science that can lead to really practical recommendations for them. And I think that is very important for the firefighters, that we can have research that is science to action, that it really can be impactful. Yes.
I was thinking, because we are now starting this interaction with the company, so you suggest that we first try to discuss the project with the company responsible, and then maybe provide some more detailed information also to the firefighters and try to explain the kind of involvement that we would like for their side. I'm also thinking that it's important to explain the objectives of the project. What do you think? How did you explain this? It was more in a lecturing kind of setting or more informal discussion?
Yeah, it was more in, I would say, an informal discussion. So we really gathered several actors around the table. So for example, we had the head of the fire brigade zone, but as well the firefighters, prevention advisors, and it was really an open discussion. And I just introduced our project EXPOSIM, and then I said, like, this is what we want to do, but if you have more inputs about practical things, and please let us know, because then we can really also tailor it a bit to their
interests. Yes, of course. Okay, those are very useful recommendations. I think we will try to put in practice those. But I know that you have also some spotlight in the communication, media, and so on. Would you like to discuss a little bit or present those of this kind of?
Yeah, so it's a two thing. I think we just recorded a podcast. It's about Just Europe. It's to get the research to really the European citizens. And we talked about the same, like how stakeholder engagement can help research, and also the other way around, that we can really give like practical guidelines to them. One of the things that we found or that we gathered around the table was that there was a discussion between undergarments underneath the intervention clothes or no undergarments, and we did that in our sampling campaign. So we tailored that based on their needs. So we did one day that they were wearing the undergarments, and one day not, and it was picked up by the government. They contacted me like, okay, what are you investigating in that fire brigade zone, and what is the stage of that research, and maybe at some point we can translate it to really a policy letter or a guideline for that kind of preventions.
That was very nice, because you see your research work being used by others and to be followed up by through guidance, for instance.
Do you think that is something that can also happen in Portugal, for example?
Yeah, thank you for that question, because we were considering how we could try to promote the outputs of the project at the national level. I think it depends a lot of this first contact, also of course the results, because there is extensive research work in Portugal about exposure to pHs, particles and other pollutants, mostly relate with wildland fires, not so much with this kind of chemical fire. So this is something more or less new in Portugal, and it is very much related with other kind of group of pollutants, PFAS. So in some way, we think that we could provide some interesting, novel information to be followed up by who defines guidelines in this kind of occupation. Let's see.